A thinker for our times, Hannah Arendt was a remarkable thinker. She wasn't just a philosopher in an ivory tower. She was a keen observer of the world around her, a world that was often in chaos. Born in Germany in 1906, she lived through some of the most turbulent times in human history. She saw the rise of totalitarianism, the horrors of World War II, and the displacement of millions. This personal experience wasn't just a footnote in her life, it became the very core of her intellectual journey. She was forced to flee her home, first from Nazi Germany and later from occupied France, eventually finding refuge in the United States. This journey shaped her profound questions about power, freedom, and what it truly means to be human in a complex political landscape. Arendt didn't like being called a philosopher. She preferred the term political theorist. This distinction is important. She wasn't interested in abstract universal truths that exist outside of human experience. Instead, she focused on the concrete reality of our lives together on this planet. How do we live with one another? What kinds of activities define our shared world? She looked at history, at politics, and at the daily lives of people to find her answers. Her goal was to understand the human condition, not from a detached cosmic perspective, but from right here on Earth, in the middle of the action. Her writing invites us to think, to question, and to engage with the world we all inhabit. Her life was a testament to the power of thought in the face of adversity. She studied with great minds like Martin Heidegger and Karl Jaspers, but she always carved her own unique path. After arriving in America, she became a prominent public intellectual, teaching at prestigious universities like Princeton, Columbia, and the New School. She wrote extensively, tackling difficult subjects with clarity and courage. Her work wasn't meant to provide easy answers. Instead, it was designed to provoke us, to make us see the familiar world in a new and often startling light. She wanted us to be active participants in our own story, not passive spectators. Understanding Hannah Arendt is like getting a new set of lenses to view society. She provides us with the tools to dissect the structures that govern our lives. Her most famous work, The Human Condition, published in 1958, is a perfect example. It's not a dusty old philosophy book, it's a vibrant exploration of what we do. She wasn't just interested in what we think, but how our actions shape our reality. She believed that our activities, from the most mundane to the most heroic, are what build the world we share. She invites us on an intellectual voyage to explore the very fabric of our public and private lives, a journey that is as relevant today as it was over half a century ago. In The Human Condition, Arendt introduces us to what she calls the vita activa, or the active life. She divides this active life into three fundamental human activities: labor, work, and action. Think of these as three different ways we engage with the world and with each other. The first and most basic is labor. Labor is tied directly to our biological needs. It's the endless cycle of activities we must perform simply to stay alive. It's growing food, cooking meals, cleaning the house, and sleeping. Labor doesn't create anything permanent. The meal you cook is eaten, the clean floor gets dirty again. It's a repetitive process that serves the immediate needs of the body, a cycle of production and consumption that we share with all living creatures. Next up in her framework is work. Work is different from labor because it creates a world of durable things. A carpenter who builds a table is engaged in work, an engineer who designs a bridge, an artist who paints a canvas, or an author who writes a book. These are all acts of work. Unlike the fleeting products of labor, the objects created by work are meant to last. They outlive the immediate moment of their creation and come together to build a stable, artificial world for humans to inhabit. This world of tables, houses, books, and tools provides us with a sense of permanence and home. It's the stage upon which our lives unfold, a world that we inherit from past generations and pass on to future ones. Then we arrive at action, the highest and most uniquely human activity in Arendt's view. Action is how we reveal ourselves to others. It happens directly between people, without the intermediary of things or matter. It is the realm of politics, speech, and great deeds. When you express a unique opinion in a public debate, organize a community project, or simply tell your life story to a friend, you are engaging in action. Action is unpredictable. It starts new beginnings and creates new stories. It's through action that we show who we are, our unique identity, and participate in the shared human story. It's the space where freedom is truly possible. Let's use a simple example to see the difference. Imagine you are hungry, so you prepare and eat a sandwich. That's labor. It satisfies a biological need. But once it's done, it's gone. Now imagine you build a beautiful, sturdy dining table. That's work. The table will last for years, providing a place for countless meals. It becomes part of your home's world. Finally, imagine you gather your friends around that table and have a deep conversation about your hopes for the future, inspiring a new collaborative project. That is action. You revealed something new about yourself and started something unpredictable with others. Each activity is distinct, and each is a vital part of the human condition. For Arendt, these three activities are not created equal. She organizes them into a clear hierarchy, not to say one is better in a moral sense, but to show which one makes us most fully human. At the bottom is labor. While absolutely necessary for life, she worried that a society focused only on labor would be a society of consumers, trapped in an endless cycle of production and consumption. If our main goal is simply to make a living and satisfy our immediate needs, we risk losing sight of the more durable and meaningful aspects of life. We become focused on comfort and survival, but not on building a lasting world or expressing our unique selves. It's a life of necessity, not of freedom. Above labor, we find work. Work is a step up because it creates the artificial world of things that gives our lives stability and context. The world of art, culture, and infrastructure is built through work. It requires skill, planning, and a vision for something that will endure beyond our own lifespan. Arendt valued work because it builds the common stage on which we can appear to one another. However, she also saw its limitations. A society dominated by work might become a society of craftsmen and fabricators obsessed with utility and efficiency. The primary question becomes, how do we make this rather than who are we? It creates the setting for human life, but it is not the play itself. At the very top of Arendt's hierarchy is action. This is the pinnacle of the vita activa, because it is the only activity where we are truly free and truly unique. Action is the realm of plurality, the fact that we live on Earth not as a single human, but as many unique individuals. When we speak and act in the public realm, we insert ourselves into the human web and begin something new. Think of the great speeches that have changed history or the courageous acts that sparked social movements. These were not acts of labor or work, they were acts of action. They revealed a unique who to the world and created a new story that others could then continue. For Arendt, a truly human life requires a public space where action is possible. This hierarchy matters because Arendt saw a dangerous trend in modern society, the elevation of labor above all else. She called this the rise of the social, where society becomes one big household, and the primary concern of government is not freedom, but the management of life processes, the economy, welfare, and public health. In such a world, we are treated as job holders and consumers, not as unique citizens capable of action. The public realm of debate and disclosure shrinks, and we retreat into our private lives. Arendt's warning is that when we lose the space for action, we lose the very essence of what makes our political life meaningful. Hannah Arendt's ideas are not just historical curiosities, they are a powerful lens for understanding our world right now in 2026. Think about the nature of our modern economy. Many jobs feel more like labor than work. We perform repetitive tasks in an endless cycle, often for goals that feel distant or meaningless, simply to earn a wage to consume. The gig economy, with its focus on constant on-demand service, is a perfect example of Arendt's concept of labor dominating our lives. Her framework encourages us to ask, does my activity contribute to a durable world, or does it just feed a cycle of consumption that leaves nothing permanent behind? This question can help us seek more meaningful engagement in our professional lives. Her distinction between the private, social, and public realms is also incredibly relevant in the age of social media. Arendt would likely be fascinated and horrified by platforms like Instagram and TikTok. On one hand, they seem to offer a new public square for action, a place to share our views and reveal who we are. On the other hand, they often blur the line between authentic self-disclosure and the curated performance of a private life for public consumption. We are encouraged to share intimate details, turning our personal lives into a product to be liked and consumed. Arendt's ideas push us to be critical of these platforms and ask whether they are truly fostering freedom and plurality, or just creating a new, more sophisticated form of social conformity. Furthermore, Arendt's emphasis on action speaks directly to our current political climate. We often feel powerless in the face of huge, anonymous systems of government and global corporations. We are treated as taxpayers, voters, and data points, not as active citizens. Arendt reminds us that true power isn't about domination. It's about people coming together to act in concert. Grassroots movements, local community organizing, and public protests are all modern examples of Arendtian action. They are moments when individuals step out of their private lives, join with others, and create something new in the world. Her work is a powerful call to reclaim our capacity for political action, no matter how small the beginning. Ultimately, learning from Hannah Arendt is an exercise in becoming more aware of our own lives and our role in society. She teaches us that we are not just cogs in a machine. We are laborers, workers, and actors. We have the capacity not only to sustain our lives and build a world, but also to reveal our unique selves and begin new stories. Her philosophy is not a set of abstract rules, but an invitation to live more thoughtfully and more courageously. By understanding the difference between labor, work, and action, we can better navigate the complexities of modern existence and strive to create spaces in our own lives and in our communities for the freedom and new beginnings that only action can bring.